This is the Dr. Shoup Show. Talk to the doc and see insider industry info at ddsradio.com.
Well, you can tell everybody. Yeah, you can tell everybody. Go ahead and tell everybody. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man.
Well, there were two unrelated, completely separate articles about public restrooms and health that I came across recently. And so you know me, I'm willing to go through all this data, put these things together for you and present them so that it gives you useful, good, powerful information. And that's why you listen to the show. You come here and you and I talk about things, and I'll give you information that you'll get nowhere else. So you're going to be the most informed person around the water cooler come Monday morning, that's for sure. This first research article comes from the author is Sean Gibbons. He's a graduate in biophysics science at University of Chicago. And here's the title of his paper: Public Restrooms No Germier Than Your Home, the study finds. Microbiologists are tracking bacteria and viruses in 4 public restrooms, found that the bacteria present in public restroom comes from human skin and the outdoor environment. We all thought that it was, and I hope you're not having breakfast or anything like that. We all thought that the bad part about public restrooms was that there were fecal germs, bacteria, that were floating around, and that you would be exposed to some of these really, really pathologic, virulent bacteria that causes things like cholera and dysentery and bubonic plague and a variety, a host of other things. But that really isn't the case. What the researchers found was that the bacteria that do come from fecal material are incredibly fragile, and outside of the human intestine, they don't live very long. They live a very short period of time, especially in a public restroom, which is a dry environment. There's lots of light there, and there's tons of oxygen, and the bacteria that live in your intestine don't like any of those things. The bacteria that did persist are bacteria from your skin, particularly staph infections, staph bacteria, and they found staph bacteria all over public restrooms, as well as bacteria that came from outside in the environment, the parking lot, trees, your cars, and all that kind of stuff. So the bottom line was they didn't find that a public restroom was particularly more dirty than the restroom in your own very home. So you don't need to go into public restrooms and just go absolutely berserk about, oh my God, I'm going to be contaminated and I'm going to get bacteria and I'm going to die. They actually found, too, that there were more viruses in a public restroom than there were bacteria. Now, here's the second article. You and I all believe that it is better to use the hand dryers because it's more sanitary. Rather than using paper towels, drying your hands, throwing the paper towels in a waste paper basket and they sit there all day, wouldn't it be more sanitary? Wouldn't it be cleaner and neater and better hygienically if we used hand dryers? Listen to this. Those air-blown hand dryers in public restrooms actually may spread far more germs than conventional paper towels, this new study shows. The study was published November the 20th in the Journal of Hospital Infections. It was also presented at the Healthcare Infection Society International Conference in Lyon, France. Here's what they say. Here's what they did. They took test subjects and they had them wash their hands in a harmless water and a harmless bacteria soup. They had them rinse their hands in this. Then they had them go into a restroom, wash their hands in the restroom, and then they used either a conventional, one of those kind of blower dryers that is hangs on the wall. They used paper towels, and they also used one of those big fancy Dyson high-powered blowers. guess what? The Dyson high-powered blower created 4.5 times higher amounts of bacteria immediately around the blow dryer. Warm air dryers were only about 2.7 times higher, and the best way to clean your hands, the most hygienic way to clean your hands in a public restroom, believe it or not, paper towels. Virtually no spread of bacteria around the surrounding area if you do it the old-fashioned way. So there's two separate news stories, two separate research studies connected together to let you know that good hand washing, use of paper towels, don't be petrified about public restrooms. They're not as gross as what you think, will help you approach all that sort of hygienic stuff with more information. You're going to be a smarter consumer, and you're not going to go crazy.
You're listening to the Dr. Shoup Show. Exclusive insider info, audio, and video is online now at ddsradio.com.